In this documentary, we are going to deal with the use for the flora and fauna of everything that make up Great Britain, which are four regions that we are going to deal with next: England, Scotland, North Ireland, and Wales, as well as we're going to break down those two uses. We are going to say if there is any tourist place that we can go to visit, if at any time we are going to visit or even live there.
Scotland, flora and fauna. The flora of Scotland is an assemblage of native plant species, including over 1,600 vascular plants, more than 1,500 lichens, and early. The total number of vascular species is low by the standards. Both lichens and varieties are abundant at the latter from a population of global importance. Various populations of rare fern exist, although the impact of 19th century collectors of rare fern exist, although the impact collectors threaten the existence of several species. The flora is generally typical of Northwest Europe, part of the Palearctic realm, and prominent features of Scottish flora include boreal caladium, forest butch reduced from its natural extent, the heather, moderate, and coastal machaires. Aquatic species. Borean and water lobelia are common plants or moorland pools or lochans. The less Napropopilia, yellow and white water lilies are also widespread. Paperwork generate some botanical controversy regarding its discovery, classification, or distribution. It was found growing outside in 18th century, although there was subsequent confusion as the both they discovered at the correct science name, now agreed to be Education Award. Grasses and sedge. Grasses and sedge are common everywhere except dune system, where marron was by be located abundant, and stony mountain top and palettes. The total number of species is large. 84 have been recorded on the verge of a single road in West Lothian. Endemic species. Slindland mouse ear is an endemic plant found in Shells. It was first recorded there in 1837 by the Shetland botanist Thomas Edmondson. A doubt report from two other sites in 19th century is currently grows only on two serpentine heights on the island of Unist. The fauna of Scotland is generally typical of the Northwest European part of the Palearctic realm, although several of the country's large mammals were hunted to extinction in historic times and human activity has also there to various species with life being introduced. Scotland's diverse temperature environment supports 62 species of wild mammals, including a population of wildcats, important number of grey and harbour seals, and the most northerly colony of bottlenecks dolphins in the world. The carnivores. The representative of the Welsh family in Scotland is typical of our Britain, as a wolf shaped that the polecat as absent, and Scotland the UK strong of the pine marten, although the purity of the latter breed is threatened by a release of American martens in North England. Scotland hosts the only population of the Scottish wildcat, Felis sylvestris, in the British Isles, with number estimated at between 400 and 2,000 animals, rodents, insectivorous, and lagoonpores. 75% of the UK red squirrels are found in Scotland. These species face threats that include competition from the introduced grey squirrels, and cottage strategic for red squirrels conservation provides a framework for supporting its long-term conservation. Research in 25 credit the growing population of pine martens with assisting the program by preventing selecting other great squirrels. Antidotes: painting for a red stage. Monarch or Glen is of the most notable emission of Victorian Scotland. The species and members a biological order antidotally of event ungulates. Although its existence in the borough from is a threat by hybridization with introduced Zika deer. Other mammals. Only 9 on the 16 or 17 bat species for us elsewhere inbred. 8% in Scotland, whilst species are common and soprano pipistrelles. The brown long-eared bat, Dubdation bat, and Natter's bats. Those with a more restricted distribution are the whisked bat, Nucleus lasers bat, and Nucleus pipistrelle. Tourist place of Scotland. Scotland benefits from 2 national parks, Carnigros National Park and Loch Lomond and the Thrush National Park, as well as natural reserve forest parks and country estates, which can be a good place to start whether you are interested in wildlife watch. Alpine flora and fauna, marine life, mature ancient woodland or coastal dune and cliffs. Flora. As far as the flora that we have in our region, which is England, is concerned, there is a great variety of flora, such as the vegetation that is abundant in UK, beech and elm trees. Due to mild climates and variety of soils, the UK features a diverse patterns of natural vegetation. Today it is estimated that 9% of the country's surface is wood. Forest of significant size is preserved in the east and north of Scotland as well as in the southwest of England. The trees is England, the UK, the elm, the ash and the beech. In the characteristics of the flora and fauna of England, it should be clarified that the fundamental factor for the development of both plant and animal species. Due to different terrain conditions, the highlands and lowlands have different ecosystems where temperature forests predominate swamps and marshes. The vegetation of England is diverse. This is due to the fact that England has a temperature oceanic climate, which makes its country a favorable space to give life to a great diversity of terrestrial and aquatic flora and fauna. This range of flora and fauna makes England a unique place in the world. Some of the characteristic species of England in relate to its flora and UK and beach. It is said that before the British Isles there was a large number of forests where the species predominate wood. In the year 2000, after an alarming study established that only 10% of the flora heritage remains, according to the conclusion that the cause are uncontrolled logging and the growth of trees. The flora of England is made of mainly of 5 natural areas: the mountain meadows, the peat bogs, the green moors, the forests, and the moors.
In the southwest of England, most of the woodland is preserved. Some of the natural landscapes, headlands, mountains, meadows, and pet boats extend into other European nations such as Scotland and Wales. Headlands are the most common plain formation in England. This is due to the humidity of the soil, which is why it is common to see fields full of blueberries and heather. There's unique landscapes of England serve as inspiration for Greek English writers such as William Shakespeare. Fauna. The fauna of the United Kingdom is mainly made up of small animals and characteristic by having few large mammals. Instead, similar to other island nations, it has a large number of bird species. Terrestrial fauna. The most popular terrestrial fauna in England is present in the parks. In this place, it is common to see porcupines, moles, kestrels, badgers, whales, tits, steers, deer, badgers, tits, fallow deer, and blue tits. The fallow deer are located especially in the district of Trent, in the northwest of England. The mammals that are present in most of English territory and hedgehogs, slaves, rabbits, whales, mice, foxes, and deer. Meanwhile, wolves and lynx are species that have become extinct from English lakes. There is no longer a single species, although of government in working there reintroduce. There is a control area and way they temperate. On the other hand, the fauna of England else includes coastal birds such as greenfinch, ostriches, and ducks. These species are found mainly in the ports of Liverpool, the city of the birds, London, and Portland. Also, the fauna is a special distinctive of cities like Dover and Boston. Today, it is estimated that in England there are approximately 200 bird species and 2,000 types of insects that maintain the ecological balance in the country. The most popular English insects are the bees, butterfly, bumblebees, blue dams, and two-spot ladybird. However, the insect population has reduced considerably due to the destruction of forests and excessive logging. This situation is expected to improve with reforestation programs in areas surrounding the most important cities in England. Water fauna. The waters of North Sea, the English Channel, and the Atlantic Ocean surround England. In these aquatic areas, the fauna is very diverse. We can find many marine species, such as shrimp, the alcotana, the owl, the sandpiper rays, also called spring ray, barbary, swordfish, herring, whiting, largemouth, turbot, mullet, grouper, melon, salt, flounder, sandhill, the arid, the whip, the spot bobby, the bass, and the Meanwhile, the most famous English writers in England, such as the Thames and Mersey, represent the home of various species that make up the fauna of English country. These water currents are the habitat of aquatic birds, amphibians, and reptiles, snakes, frogs, and toads, as well as more than 40 freshwater fish. Like the terrestrial fauna of England, the freshwater and saline fauna have surveyed the mesh or their habitat. as a result of exploitation of oil deposits in some areas on the North Sea. The contamination of the water, the underwater construction, such as the channel tunnel that connects England with France, and the extraction of sand. Some species have reduced their number of species, as is the case of the shark and the seal. Experts in caring of the environment where the exploitation of natural resources must be done as a sustainable manner, otherwise this could lead to the disappearance of more animal species and generate severe ecological damage. Vertebrates, amphibians. Amphibian species native to England are the grass newt, smooth newt, palmet newt, common toad, nest toad, common frog, and bullfrog. Several other species have become naturalists. Reptiles. Four species of snakes are the European viper, the great snake, the barred snake, and the smooth snake. Some introduced snakes are the snake and these snakes. Lizards found in England include slowmores, common lizards, sand lizard, European green lizards introduced, and the common wild lizard introduced from mainly Europe, found on the east ice whites. Turtle found on the English coast and leatherback, green wasp-beak, lockheed hens, sea turtles, and they appear to be visiting English waters. In increased numbers are the sea around Britain warm to the climate change. Land turtle found in England are the Europe pond turtle introduced from mainly Europe, and the red eel slider introduced but not established. Birds. The English avifauna replaced that of continental Europe, consisting mainly of Palearctic species. Being located as an England, it has fewer breeding species than main Europe, with some species such as the ingress lark breeding as close as North breeds, but unable to colonize Britain. However, England and the British East is a world have many waters and the shore breeds, and England's coastlines are very important habitats for seabirds. England's coastline is generally flatter and sandier than of neighboring UK countries as a primary and magnet for wading breeds, but has some rocky areas suitable for birds such as puppies. Mild winters means that many species that can cope with harsh conditions are able to overwinter in Britain, and also that there is a large influx of wintering birds from the continent or region, and even as far as South Africa. Mammals. England does not have many large mammals and is mainly populated by smaller mammals. England has some not native species or of there that have become naturalized to the similar climates of areas of continental Europe and southern Siberia, while the Scottish red deer tribes build Scotland's smaller species of deer, both native and introduced. The tribe in England and some are absent or nearly absent from Scotland. Insectivorous and other small mammals. There are also several species of insectivorous in England and the rest of Great Britain. The hedgehog is probably the best known as a regular visitor to urban gardens. It is also vulnerable to road traffic, and many are killed while crossing busy highways and expressways. It is also vulnerable to road traffic, and many are killed while crossing busy highways and expressways. The mall is also really recognized and is underground lifestyle caves. A lot of damage to garden lands, and some gardens trap or kill them. Shares are also quite common, with the smallest packaging Beijing on the smallest mammals in the world. There are also several species of bat found in England. Bat is the smallest and most common of. Rodents are also numerous in Britain and India, notably the brown rat, which is by far the most abundant urban animal after humans. However, some are become rarer. Habitat destruction has caused a population decline in the numbers of dormouse and voles found in Britain. Carnivores. There is a variety of carnivores, especially from the weasel family. This range is sized from the European weasels, ermine and polecat, raised in England, found mainly in the Welsh marches, and heavily invertebrate with domestic pets. To their budget and pink matter and the mink and other resin introduced semi-aquatic. These are going debate in England about which badgers should be cooled or vaccinated to reduce the spread of bovine tuberculosis. In the absence of the extinct wolf and brown bear, the large carnivore is the red fox, whose adaptability and opportunities have allowed it to proliferate in the urban environment. Wheat and fox dominates the role on carnivores in England and are very common in the countryside and in town and some cities. Tourist place 1. St. James Park. At the Duke Island Cottage in St. James Park, we can find more than 14 pelicans next to the rocks. Theirs were given to Charles II in 1664 by the Russian embrace. 2. Vauxhall City Farm. If we approach the farm located in Vauxhall, the variety of animals that we can see be great. We can see from lambs, ducks, trout, horses, goats, rabbits, turkeys, or pigs, among others. 3. Speedfields City Farm. The list of animals that we find here is a long, but there is something that stands out. This farm is because of its goats. 4. Hankey City Farm. It is another farm located in Hankey. It also has different animal species. But from the farm itself, the donkeys stand of a star. Number 5. Ormina Museum and Gardens. Here you will see different rabbits, among them possible the largest in London.
Wales is a distinctive part of the United Kingdom, with its own character, culture, and way of life. Thousands of years in the process of creation and in continuous evolution. The flora is essentially made up of headlands and grassy plains, but there are also lush forests in the Snowdon Massif and in the hills of Wild Wales. The change through the seasons is a particular delight, as spring sees the daffodils burst out in March, bluebells in April, and blossom on fruit trees in May. As summer turns to autumn, so leaves begin to turn to red, yellow, brown, and gold. Before winter provides opportunities to see places usually hidden beneath the leaves. Rare species can be found in Wales, in the upland region of Snowdonia. Arctic alpine flora thrives including the snowdon lily, Joidia cerotina, a species confined to this area's cool, north-facing slopes. There are no dangerous animals in Wales. Bears and wolves were hunted to extinction many centuries ago, and most animals you will see will be on farms, sheep, cattle, and pigs. There are wild animals about, however, and it can be a real joy to get a sighting of a red squirrel in Anglesey, where there have been reintroduced, and glimpse a polecat. There are also feral creatures in isolated upland areas, including goats, sheep, and horses. There are also rare birds to be found, such as the red kit and osprey, and secretive birds such as the kingfisher. As well as creatures of the mountains, woods, and fields, Wales' long coastline is the home to a host of diverse sea creatures: seals, dolphins, sharks, jellyfish, crabs, and lobsters are all found around the Welsh coast. As well as sea life, the coasts are home to birds, including Arctic terns, coots, and boffins, which can all be found at the appropriate season around the coast of Anglesey. Among the best nature reserves in Wales, there is the South Stag Cliffs, with dramatic views across the Irish Sea, as well as incredible opportunities for bird watching. The estuary, a popular destination for bird watchers, and Ramsay Island. Visitors can reach the island via boat tours from the mainland, and there are even